Welcome back to today's video. In today's video, I'm going to be making my prediction for the 2028 election, assuming that J.D. Vance and Gavin Newsom get the respective parties' nominees. And so, before today's video, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and like the video. And one of the reasons why you should hit the subscribe button is because our prediction for the 2024 election had a 99.8% accuracy. We were only one electoral vote off. We projected that the former president would win 313 electoral votes and Kamala Harris would win 225. We ended up being only one electoral vote off, and we correctly predicted that the former president would end up winning the popular vote. And so if you want to support our work here at Political Analysis, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. We're going to be making predictions as we continue on to 2026, 2028 as well. So make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. It really helps out with the channel to bring in more viewers. And so as we're taking a look at our map here, we're currently looking at Gavin Newsom and J.D. Vance. And so what exactly are the favorability ratings for each of these candidates? Gavin Newsom, obviously, is the governor of California. Most of you probably already know that. But he is the governor of California, and several individuals thought that he may have run in 2024. That being said, he did not run, and he basically led the way open for Kamala Harris to become the Democratic nominee. And so Gavin Newsom's favorability rating is 27%, and his unfavorability rating is 29.2%. Basically, it's about a very low favorability rating for him. In fact, his favorability rating is about similar to George W. Bush at the end of his administration in 2009, late 2008. And so J.D. Vance, on the other hand, has a much better favorability rating. He has a 38.7% favorability rating and a 44.4% unfavorability rating. And so you can see that right now, his favorability rating is starting to really increase since October 1st. Obviously, after that debate, you could see some pretty big strides there towards his favorability rating there becoming a little bit higher. And comparing to his unfavorability rating, he has a 5.6% greater unfavorability rating, whereas Governor Gavin Newsom has almost really a 22% unfavorability rating there in terms of the difference there between the favorability rating to unfavorability rating. If you were to subtract those two numbers, you would get approximately 22%. J.D. Vance is approximately 5.6%. And so when we're taking a look at our electoral map, there's several things that we have to be aware of. First of all, is the electoral map going to be the same in terms of the number of electoral votes that each state will get? Well, that will obviously be the same because the census will obviously take place in 2030. Therefore, the election will take place in 2028. Therefore, we will not see any reapportionment or anything like that will occur. Nothing like that will occur. And so what we're going to do right now is we're going to go ahead and give Governor Gavin Newsom the states of Washington, Oregon, and California. Now, Governor Gavin Newsom, the reason why I think that he actually will have a higher favorability rating. So currently taking a look at this, his favorability rating right now is 27%, unfavorability rating 29.2%. It is very rare for a candidate with that type of favorable to unfavorable ratings to actually win a general election. But here's the thing. If Governor Gavin Newsom becomes the Democratic nominee for president, I believe that his favorability rating will increase. Governor Gavin Newsom, as was revealed in his debate with Governor Ron DeSantis, proved to be a very good debater. He proved to be a very formidable debater in a very hostile environment. Governor Gavin Newsom often also goes, not often, but he went on Fox News one time with Shane Hannity, and he went on a very hostile environment. He's very good at going in those hostile environments and showing himself to be a very formidable candidate. Now, whether you agree or disagree with Governor Gavin Newsom's policies in the state of California, that is up to you. But he definitely does have the ability to read the room. He has the ability to go to a debate, speak in a very coherent, nice way, and is really able to persuade a lot of voters on his side. J.D. Vance, as well, as was revealed in the VP debate, is also a very smooth politician. He knows how to talk. He knows how to read the room. He's gone on very many hostile networks. And I think that J.D. Vance and Governor Gavin Newsom would really be two very well-equipped politicians in terms of their ability to increase their favorability rating. We saw even with J.D. Vance, his favorability rating at one point was extremely low. It was extremely low. Except it has been going a little bit higher now. It was extremely low at one point. Now, it wasn't. He didn't really increase it that much. The change wasn't that much. But even if you take a look at this, like in August, like September, his favorability rating was much lower, but he's able to bring it much more closer after that VP debate, especially. And so they're very skilled politicians, and I believe their favorability ratings will slightly increase as the campaign moves on. Although J.D. Vance's favorability rating, I mean, it might go to maybe 42, 43%. I don't know if it's going to go too much higher than that. Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming will go to J.D. Vance. Utah, North and South Dakota, Nebraska's at-large vote, Nebraska's second congressional district, Nebraska's first congressional district, Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, Iowa, Missouri, Alaska, Texas, Florida, South Carolina, West Virginia, and the state of Illinois will vote for J.D. Vance. Governor Gavin Newsom. Colorado will vote for Governor Gavin Newsom in the safe margin, as well as the state of New York, Vermont, Connecticut, Delaware, Maryland, D.C., Rhode Island, Massachusetts. Moving on from there, Hawaii will vote for Governor Gavin Newsom in the safe margin. And then we're going to go ahead and give J.D. Vance the state of Ohio there in the likely margin. We're going to go ahead and give Governor Gavin Newsom the state of New Mexico in the likely margin. And we're going to go ahead and give J.D. Vance here, not J.D. Vance, but we're going to give Governor Gavin Newsom Maine at large in the lead margin, Maine's second congressional district in Maine's first congressional district in the likely margin, and Governor Gavin Newsom will win Maine's second congressional district in the safe margin. The state of New Jersey will vote for Governor Gavin Newsom in the likely margin. And then in the state of New Hampshire, this is going to be an interesting state here. I'm going to go ahead and give this state to Governor Gavin Newsom there in the lean margin. I'm also going to go ahead and give the state of Virginia to Governor Gavin Newsom in the lean margin, and the state of Minnesota to Governor Gavin Newsom in the lean margin. And so moving on from there, let's go ahead and give some of our swing states here. Now, do I believe the swing states will be the same in 2028? I do think so. I think the swing states will remain as being swing states. I think Arizona is a state that actually voted for the former president by a fairly large margin, actually, with approximately 99% of the vote in, 98.7% to be specific, with approximately 98.7% of the vote in. Former President Donald Trump and President-elect Donald Trump has approximately a 5.5 percentage point lead. A 5.5 percentage point lead. That is a very big lead, actually. This is actually similar to the lead that Hillary Clinton had in 2016 over Donald Trump in the state of Virginia. So that is very interesting there. So I believe that definitely that J.D. Vance most likely will end up winning the state of Arizona there in the lean margin. I think that 2020 will be a one-off, not a one-off. It would be a very rare situation there in 2020. I think that Arizona is a right-leaning state, and it has been a right-leaning state in very many elections. I think it's going to go back to that position again. Moving on from there, let's go ahead and give the state of Georgia to, once again, J.D. Vance. Georgia was actually very close. Georgia voted for the former president by approximately 2.2%. With 99% of the vote in, a very small margin there. But nevertheless, I do believe that it will vote for J.D. Vance there in the tilt margin. Georgia will continue to be a very much of a swing state. I do believe in the future elections, but I will vote for J.D. Vance there in the tilt margin. Moving on from there, let's go ahead and give the state of North Carolina. We're going to give the state of North Carolina to J.D. Vance in the tilt margin there. Moving on from there, I'm going to go ahead and give the state of Michigan. The state of Michigan is a state that I believe that J.D. Vance will end up winning, as well as the state of Wisconsin and the state of Pennsylvania as well, and the state of Nevada. Now, Nevada could end up flipping either way. I'm not entirely sure. But, I think that Nevada voted for Donald Trump by a pretty large margin as well, approximately 3.1% there. It's going to end up voting for J.D. Vance there in the tilt margin. And so now Nebraska's second congressional district will vote for Gavin Newsom. I'm a little bit on edge with Nevada. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the tilt margin for now. But we're going to go ahead and give Governor Gavin Newsom the state of Nebraska's second congressional district in the lead margin. And so now with that being said, we have the exact same electoral map that we had in 2024 with former President Donald Trump, President-elect Donald Trump at 313 electoral votes. We have the exact scenario that we had in 2024, had past tense, obviously, since the election already passed. But we have here J.D. Vance here at 312 and Governor Gavin Newsom at 226. Meaning that J.D. Vance would become the president-elect in 4 years. But that is quite some time away. This is a very early prediction, I do realize, and I do believe that this electoral map could definitely change. This is definitely not in any ways a final prediction, but this is more made, I guess you could say, for entertainment purposes as far as this is concerned. I do believe that former President Donald Trump, I think that his 4 years will be, for the most part, fairly successful. I think that will be fairly successful as far as that is concerned. And so I think that will end up happening. I think that the former president would have won in 2020 if the COVID pandemic had not happened. I don't think that anything like COVID is going to happen again. Neither if something like COVID happened again, over again, I don't even think that people would even care about it anymore because people just don't care about it anymore. And I think that Donald Trump's next 4 years will be a little bit different than his 4 years as president. I think that mass deportations definitely will happen at a larger extent than they happened last time around. Do I believe they're going to go after all 10 million illegal immigrants, 10 to 11 million according to Border Patrol? I don't think they're going to go after all 10 to 11 million. Frankly, I think that most people who are civilians, not necessarily that much of a criminals or anything like that. I don't think they're gonna go too much after those people. They might. I mean, they put a very much a hardcore immigration individual in charge of their border patrol, Homan there, and I do believe that he will be doing a lot of mass deportations. They're getting very serious about that, definitely. So that's also something to consider in terms of something that might be different. Also, I think they're going to be going more after the federal bureaucracy. I think the federal bureaucracy, the size might decrease slightly. I think that's going to decrease, especially with Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy in charge of the Department of Government Efficiency. Department of Government Efficiency has two leaders in it, and basically, it's going to be a small addition actually to the bureaucracy. It will be a small addition to the bureaucracy, not a huge addition, but it will be a small addition, depending on how many employees they'll have underneath that bureaucracy. Maybe it won't have any employees underneath it, but the Department of Government Efficiency there for that. And then you'll also have some of your more traditional people like Huckabee, who will be in charge of the U.S. ambassador to Israel. He is obviously a neocon, Governor Huckabee, not Governor Huckabee, but I believe I'm not sure exactly if he's a senator. I think he's a governor. I think he's a senator, but you guys can check me on that. But he's basically the father of Sarah Huckabee, who is the senator in the state of Alabama. So he is the father of that individual. And so that's Huckabee as well. And then you also have Matt Gaetz, who I necessarily, if I was Trump, I would not pick Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz is very controversial. I would not have picked Matt Gaetz. There's a lot of people that you could have picked besides Matt Gaetz who would have been very good for this job. I think Matt Gaetz is a horrible pick from the former president. I think that he mainly just picked Matt Gaetz because Matt Gaetz, I think, just stayed by Donald Trump the entire time. I think that's really the only reason. Like, I mean, he's not really a good pick. I would say, however, that I think that he might be have been a better pick than somebody like Marjorie Taylor Greene, but he's still a bad pick. Okay, like if you're a better pick than Marjorie Taylor Greene, that doesn't mean you're a good pick. It just means that you're like a substandard pick if you're not good than anybody else. And so that's one thing to consider. And then he's also picked the Fox News host Peter Hegseth, I believe. Hegseth. Obviously, I believe he attended Princeton and Harvard. He also he also served in the Iraq War as well. He is also a neocon once again. A lot of neocons being put into the Trump administration. And then you have another individual, Marco Rubio, who will be the Secretary of State, another neocon there. A neocon, but we'll see. We'll see how much control Donald Trump has over these people. Maybe these people will just end up being props for Donald Trump, and they don't really have any control. Donald Trump will just tell them what to do, and they'll just do it. Might be the case. I wouldn't. I would say that. And so those are some of the people there as well. He's has Susie in charge. Susie is her last name. I'm not sure what her first name. I don't know what her first name is, but she will be in charge of his chief of staff as well. She seems to be a very effective individual. She knows how to do what she wants to do, and so that's what she's doing. She's very good at running campaigns. She got Governor Ron DeSantis to win in 2018. She was a part of the Trump campaign. So she's a very effective individual there. Governor Susie Wiles, I believe is her full name. I just thought about that right now. And so several people there being put under the Trump administration, and I'm trying to think. I don't think anybody else there. I don't really think anybody else. There might be a couple people that I might be forgetting. Oh, sorry, also Tulsi Gabbard as well. Tulsi Gabbard there, I think she's in charge of the NSA or something, intelligence department or something. Which, to be honest with you guys, I don't think U.S. intelligence is very good. I don't think the USA Patriot Act was the best bill to sign. I think that's a horrible bill to sign. I think the USA Patriot Act just allows the government to legally spy on American civilians. I don't think it's a good bill whatsoever. I think they should just abolish the intelligence departments because I think that the intelligence departments are just there to take information from civilians. I don't think they're there for. They might be. I mean, they're probably there for some good stuff. But I think the intelligence departments. I mean, I think they're just there to spy on Americans and get rid of the First Amendment. That's literally like, not get rid of it literally, but figuratively get rid of it. Not figuratively, but like it's spying on wiretapping and all that type of stuff. Not necessarily the best thing that I don't really like. So yeah, you have that. Also, he's put someone in charge of the Department of Homeland Security, and then also another individual part of the another organization, I believe. Okay, so this is my prediction as of right now. As of right now, 4 years before the prediction, before we even know who the nominees are. 3 years before we even know who 3.5 years before we know even who the nominees are. And so this is a very early prediction with Governor Gavin Newsom at 226, J.D. Vance 312. Again, guys, make sure you subscribe button down below. We had a 99.8% accuracy, definitely much more accurate than a lot of the individuals in a lot of circles. And so we had a very good, accurate prediction. And if you like this, or if you like our content, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. We want to continue to grow as we approach 2026, 2028, 2030, reapportionment, all that type of stuff. Hit the subscribe button down below, like the video, comment down below whether or not you agree or disagree. What do you think the future of the Republican Party is? What do you think the future of the Democratic Party is? Are they going to be able to win in 2028? Are they going to be able to get themselves together and win in 2028, win in 2026? We'll see, but write that down in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next video.